Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend getting prepped for Thanksgiving week here. And to address that, obviously, you have different hours and 5Q and ECA is going to have different hours. So our office will be closing at 2 p.m. on Wednesday and be closed on both Thursday and Friday, as I'm sure many of your offices as well. So with the new participation rates that Jerry has talked to us about, Missy was kind enough to redo some of these tables that we have. So I wanted, they're pretty startling. So let's take a look at how these new participation rates, we're going to look at three different participation rates, how they would affecting. So what we have here is the S&P 500. So $100,000 invested with the S&P 500 from 2000 to 2022. In 2022, we just used minus 15. It could be all over the place, but that's what we just chose. Now, how many of your competitors are managing people's monies for free? How many of your competitors are managing the money for free, for zero cost? Exactly. So we use the 1% fee. Does that seem, I mean, I don't care if you're doing a mutual fund, a variable annuity, or even a money manager, is that being at least fair? I mean, many are more than this. How many are going to be way less than 1? Yeah. So if we look at the 100,000 S&P 500 would have grown to 274. Look at what would have happened with that 1% fee. With that 1% fee. And then we look at it with a 40% participation rate. Where are we at? So obviously, S&P 500 with no fee was the highest, but how did the Warren Buffett with 40% participation rate do over the last 22, guys, that's over 2 decades. That's over 2 decades. How did the Warren Buffett do compared to the S&P 500? And again, how many funds beat the S&P 500? Let's even talk about that. How many funds even beat the S&P 500? How many money managers beat the S&P 500? How many hedge fund managers beat the S&P 500? Yeah, over a year, yeah, there's about a third of them. Well, how many over 2 years? How many over 5 years? How many over 10 years? Nobody over 10 years. So, you know, we said that the FIAs are a replacement for bonds, but this is a good indication that FIAs are a replacement for what? And take a look at this. There's the Warren Buffett, the FIA, S&P 500 with 1% fee, S&P 500. So who had a nicer journey for the last 2 decades? Who had a more reasonable, low-stress journey for the last 2 decades? These charts, Missy was kind enough, these charts will be attached to the call, the coaching call replay, and she's also sent them to both, to ECA, to Jerry, Dan, and my brain fart. Matt. So you can get them from them. But so that's the 40% participation rate. What about the trigger, where if it goes to anything above 0, you get a point of 9.10. That's available right now. How would that have done? Again, we see the S&P 500, 100,000, 274, 218, 369. 369. Now, which one would you rather be in? 274 with no fees. I mean, you're not going to make any money. You might want to be in this, but you don't. Do you want your clients in the S&P 500 with no fee? How many of you want your clients in the S&P 500 with no fee? You don't work for free. So 369 versus 218. Hey, FIAs are a great replacement for bonds. You know what else are a great replacement for, apparently? Equities. Yes. Now, which one of these graphs would your clients want to be in? Yeah, look at that. Which one? 369, no risk, 218, or 274? And how smooth, oops, is that nice blue line? Now, of course, and Jerry, is Jerry on, Missy? Or can we get Jerry on?
Let me see if I can get him on here. Nope, it's going to be just a minute. So he is not on as of right now.
Okay. So the one thing about the 9.1% trigger, and Missy, maybe you've actually both of us put money into this, so maybe you can help me remember what he said. So the one thing about the 9% trigger is, can they change that? Can they change that rate?
The trigger can be changed.
Yes,
that's
they
just
can.
Regular. Yep.
That's so each year that can be changed. But he said you're not going to see more than a 20% change in that trigger. Not going to see more than 20% change in that trigger. But for those of you that don't trust that, well, then let's talk about this 9% cap. This 9% cap, 1 year S&P 500, point to point, 9% cap. That is cap for the entire period that you hold it. So they can't change that. They can't change that on a yearly basis. You're going to get 9% cap for the every year that you hold it during the contract. So how did that do? So if you don't trust the insurance companies, you can lock them into that 9% cap. So how did that do? Well, again, we get the 274, 218, 326. Which do you think your clients would rather be in? That's the S&P 500 no fee. It beat the S&P 500 with no fee, with no risk. Dudes, how many of you should be singing this from the mountaintops? It's the Missy. What product is the? Is it Lincoln American Legend, or what one is it? No, it's the Mass Mutual.
It's the Optum.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. The cap is the Mass Mutual. Yep, the cap.
It's the Mass Mutual something. So it's the one that American Equity Mass Mutual bought them out, I think, and then. But you can talk to Matt or Jerry about that. So guys, FIAs are a good replacement for bonds, obviously, but you want me to show this? If you got clients in AUM, do you want me to show this to your clients with AUM? Everybody answer that. Everybody on the call, I want you to answer this. If you got clients with AUM, do you want me to show this to your clients with AUM? Because what's going to happen to your clients? Yeah, you want to show this to your clients. So here we go. This is all of them put together. S&P 500, no fee. S&P 500 with fee. And then you got the 40% participation rate. You got the 9.1% trigger, which anything above zero, you're going to get that. Again, that can be changed, but you're looking at probably worst case scenario, they'd lower that by 20% over the contract period. And then if you don't trust that, you got the 9% cap. They can't change that. So you can look in your client in the face and say, you're going to get 9% cap every single year. No risk of having to explain things to the clients when those participation rates change, because it's locked in. So which one of these is better than the S&P?
I'm sorry. I was just going to add in that it is the American Legend 7 with the with Mass Mutual Ascend. So it's the old Great American. This one. Yep, is the 9% cap one.
Yep. So guys, if this doesn't convince you to be out banging on doors right now, I mean, this is better than in the late 90s. What we're seeing now is better than in the late 90s for FIAs. This is freaking awesome. Do you know how much money you should be making right now selling this stuff? Look at this. The yellow and the blue and the green. So yellow, blue, and green. So the S&P 500 over time, it did, but then guess what we find out? It beat the 9.1% trigger and the 40% cap. Did beat the S&P 500 even for over the last 22 years. And then the 9% cap is locked in. They can't change that. It's getting very close to the same. So guys, these charts are available to you. Guess how many people I would get them in front of? How about your current clients that already have as much money as they can have in FIAs? Would it make sense to get this in front of your clients, that even if they already have FIAs? Yes. Why? You're right. Everybody's saying yes. Why? You're going to get referrals, right? And I bet you're going to find more money that they didn't tell you about. And if they want to move, and you know, if I'm your client and I have AUM, do you think I'm going to want to move some more money out of AUM into FIAs? Hell yeah. Now, here's the thing. Are you cannibalizing your business if they move it from AUM into FIAs? We talked about this last week. No. You're getting paid 7 years of fees up front, and then you can move it back in. Also, if you're not showing them this, guess what? If you're not showing your clients this, if a competitor shows your clients this, guess what's going to happen to your AUM? Are they going to be happy that you didn't show this to them, or pissed off that you didn't show this to them? Well, I'll answer for you. Nobody's answering. They ain't going to be happy. And that money's moving. So you can either get paid 7 years up front and then get paid again as you move the money back into AUM, or, and guys, just leaving it in AUM let's just talk about the next 7 years. Just leaving it in the AUM, or just putting it in an FIA, or choice number 3, putting it in an FIA and then every year moving 10% back into AUM. Which of those ones is going to make you the most money? A, which is AUM. B, which is just the FIA. C, the FIA, and then moving it 10% back into AUM over the next 3 years. Which one's going to make you the most money? C. And which one's going to give you the happiest clients? A, B, or C? C. So is there any reason you shouldn't be going to spend the next 2 months seeing every one of your clients to do this with them? Please, 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 okay? So enough on that. What marketing media has 66% more qualified leads per year? Videos do. Videos engage your users longer on your website. The average visitor spends 88% more time if the website has video. So how hard is it to do video? See, it's easier than you think. So I'm going to give you some tips on doing video. So first of all, ignore the myths. Ignore the myths. The first myth is you need a huge production value. You don't. What's more important than production value? What you're covering. If it's something that interests them, something that can help them, something that adds value, that's what they're looking for. Myth number 1 is complicated. Guys, what does every single one of us carry in our pants pocket all day long? Besides our wallet, what else do we have? Keys. Phone. Thank you. Howard finally got the phone. That's right, Howard. Phone. So, and I was just reading an article about iPhone cameras and Android cameras. They are now better than what do you call it? What do you call it? Is it SLR or DLR camera? You know, the ones that cost like $800 or $1,000 or $1,500. Yeah. SLR. Okay. Those Android and iPhone lenses and cameras are better than those SLRs right now. So you can shoot, and are people shooting whole videos on iPhones now? Not videos, whole movies on iPhones now. Have there been movies shot with iPhones of professional quality? Yeah. So you don't need, it's not complicated. Set up a little tripod with the iPhone, you're set to go. And there's tons of short YouTube videos on how to make a decent video. And then myth number 2, it takes time. No, it doesn't. Find a subject that you think your clients, anytime a client asks you a question, what have they just given you? Anytime a client asks you a question, what have they just given you? Your next content. If they're asking it, somebody else is. So just talk about that. It's not expensive. You already have the camera, you already have the video, you already have the computer. Use the right platform. Use YouTube. Why do you want to use YouTube? It's easy to use. If you have Gmail, you already have an account. And YouTube is part of Google. So guess what happens to the chance of your video being seen, since Google is going to push what? The other medias or YouTube. They're going to push YouTube. So when you do a video, you load it up on your YouTube account via your Gmail account. And you don't need a script. You want to talk to the people as if they're sitting across from you having a beer. You want to talk to them as if they're a client, like you're talking to a client. Just jot down some key points you want to make. And then you want to make it be 3 to 10 minutes. How many of us could talk 3 to 10 minutes on any particular topic? Is it very difficult to talk 3 to 10 minutes on any particular topic? No. The real problem is what? We want to talk longer. But you want to keep that, the sweet spot is 3 to 10 minutes. Make sense? You also want to make sure that when you post the video, it has a great thumbnail. You know, it's that picture they see when they see your video. Again, there's lots of resources. Just Google how to create an eye-catching thumbnail or how to create a great thumbnail for your video. There's all sorts, and they're like 10-minute videos. These are not difficult things to do. So I'll tell you exactly how to do that. How to make your videos more interesting. Again, 5-minute video. There's tons of little 5, 7, 8, 10-minute videos where people got tips on how to make your videos more interesting. And then once you do those videos, you want to promote those videos. So the two best ways is social media, and there's lots of resources to help you do that. You don't need to do that, but you probably need to hire somebody to do that if you're going to want to do it that way. Or just get your video noticed by search engines. Create a blog post. We can all do that. Post the video. And you also want to post the transcript of that video. And there's, again, there are lots of resources that can change your video for very, very inexpensively, create a transcript from your video. So you don't even have to take the time to do that. You just send it to them, a day later they get you the transcript back, and then you post that on your blog with the video. The reason you want to do that is because the spiders that creep around looking for keywords, they can't read video. They can only read words. So you want those words that you're saying in your video, in your transcript, that will get you moved up again by the search engine. So if you're wondering what to do to create more traffic, what to do to create more buzz, what to do to make a better website, get more people to look at your blog, make the chances of somebody finding you that you wouldn't have found you otherwise, start concentrating on videos. And if you've got kids, how good are kids at making videos? If they're age 12 or up, how good are they at making videos? Heck, if they're age 10 or up, how good are they making videos? If they want, get them involved to help you. Make sense? So we're going to have a shorter call today because the thing I wanted to get mostly was these. This blows my mind. That's the main focus that I wanted you to get for today. Because guys, if this doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. But I want to continue on our journey of learning script by script. But I do have a question for you because I had a brain fart last week. How many of you noticed that I did quality of life directive twice in a row? Did anybody notice that? I didn't. Missy did though. And here's the funny thing. I didn't believe her. I had to go back and look for myself to see that I did it. That's how things can how quickly we can forget things. So for those of you that recognize that, sorry that, but please, for those of you that recognize it, please, if you see anything in these coaching calls that annoy you, anything in these coaching calls that aggravate you, anything in these coaching calls that you really like and would like more of, please send feedback to Missy. She'll get it. She'll scrub your name off it and forward it to me so that we can make these calls as good as they can be for you guys. Make sense? So if you notice that I did it 2 times in a row, please point that out to us. We're not going to be mad at you. We're going to be happy that you pointed that out to us. So on that quest, the 20-point check, we're going to talk about ID theft and how I cover that. So we want to talk about the problem, ask whether we should be proactive or not, talk about the table of contents, the ID theft, FTC ID theft booklet. Before credit monitoring, copy the wallet, passwords, why would we want to do that? After a quick response, and what kind of advisor would I be if I didn't do this? So let's see if I can do all those things in the video. Yeah. So the next thing we would like to talk about is identity theft plan. Is identity theft a problem in today's world?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it happens all the time.
It does, right? And even if we're take care and are careful with our identity, what do we hear in the news constantly?
That some company got hacked and all their information was stolen.
Right. So even if we do a good job, we're still have to worry about it or not have to worry about it?
Yeah, you still have to worry about it.
Yeah. So, and should we be proactive or should we be reactive when it comes to those things?
I'd say proactive.
Proactive. So what we want, and why does it make sense to be proactive?
Well, you want to do whatever you can to make sure it doesn't happen in the first place.
Right. And then, so we do what we can. One of the things, this is our identity theft plan that we give to our clients. And the first thing we recommend that people do is they contact Experian or TransUnion or Equifax. You don't have to contact all three, just one of them, and they're responsible for contacting the other two.
Okay.
So do these names, any of these names, ring a bell to you?
Yeah, those are the credit reporting bureaus.
Yes, and you could put a fraud alert with one of these for free, and they'll contact if somebody's trying to open accounts in with your identity.
Okay.
And it's free. If it's free, what should we do?
Go ahead and do it.
Because it just is a phone call. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Also, we recommend that you get copies of everything in your wallet and your purse, because if it's stolen or lost, do you know everything that's in your wallet?
No, well, no, not really.
And even if you did, would you know the phone numbers to call and tell those people?
No.
And things as simple as your healthcare card or your library card can be backtraced, and people can get your identity using just things as simple as that. So the reason it would make sense to have that information is because do you think the longer it goes, the better, or the longer before you address it is going to get worse?
No, the longer you take to address it, it only gets worse.
Right. So if you had all this information at your fingertip, what's in your wallet and what's in your purse, that would be a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, that would be a good thing.
It'd be a hassle, but how quick could you call those places?
Right away.
Yeah, and then they could put a freeze on those things. Now, there's other things too, like what to do right away. This tells you what to do right away if something happens. What to do next tells you how you should contact the police and what you should do. It talks about certain accounts and how to deal with them. Special forms you'd need for identity theft. So would it be better to have all these things right at your fingertips, or for you to be trying to figure out what should I do now if any of these things happened?
No, you'd rather have it right at your fingertips.
Yeah, so we always make sure our clients have this, and we always step in to help them if something happens. And it's pretty darn easy for us to step in because we've already given them what?
You've already given them the map.
And we've helped them prevent damage by doing what with the Experian and
putting a credit freeze on your accounts.
And again, it's another fun thing to talk about, getting our identity theft. But why as an advisor, do I cover this?
So that you don't end up getting your identity stolen and then your bank account's drained.
Exactly. So again, if I just sold investments as an investment salesman, I could see. But if I'm a financial advisor, my job is to provide advice on what?
Making sure people keep the money that they have.
Right. And this is an example of that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. So that's the identity theft plan.
So again, what did I do there? I said, I finished that with, so what kind of advisor would I be? If all I did is talk about the investments, I'd be a salesman. Or would I be an advisor if all I did is talk about the investments I sold you? See how I'm just hammering and hammering and hammering on the end of each of these non-financials that people who just talk about the investments that they were sold are what, guys? Professionals that just talk about the investments they're sold. Here's the mutual fund you had. Here's how well it did. Here's the money management you had. Here's how well it did. Here's the FIA you had. Here's how well it did. If all you do is talk about the things you sold them, you are a what? If that's the only thing you talk about, what are you? What are you? You're a salesman. That's it. You're a salesman. Yeah. So how many times are we having them tell us then that their current advisor is a bad advisor because all he does is talk about, now again, we never call them out, we never say their name, we just let them connect the dots, because after they say that for Survivor's Guide, after they say that for Power of Attorney, after they say that for Quality of Life Director, after they say that for DocuBank, after they say that for identity theft, I mean, eventually they start to connect the dots and say, wait a minute, Mike, yeah, you'd be a bad advisor, you'd be a bad advisor, you'd be a salesman, wait a minute, you're not even my advisor. You're covering these things. My advisor's not an advisor. He's a salesman. He's a salesman. He's a salesman. Do you see how they start to connect the dots? Which makes it so much easier when you get into the financial where you start pointing the finger directly at the advisor. Guess how easy it is for them to jump to the conclusion their advisor's screwing them at that point? Much easier. So you're laying the breadcrumbs down to the fact that their guy is screwing them. So by the time you give them the evidence, are they doubting the evidence, or are they saying, aha, here's proof that he's screwing me? It's the aha moment. Makes sense? So we'll continue on this journey. Everybody's still good with us walking through one of these every single week? Just a little reminder of what each of the scripts can do for us? Super. So again, Missy, can you give a better explanation of, let me see here. Get out of here and get out of here and get back into here. And I'm going to go back. So can you get on just and make sure we're clear on how the guys can, we had a lot of interest, everybody wants these, how they can get access to these, just for the guys that maybe aren't familiar with when we attach things to the, because guys, have you seen a better sales sheet than these things? How long has it been since you've seen a better sales sheet than these for FIAs? How long has it been? Yeah, years. Like I said, this is better than anything that I had in the late 90s. So for those that are lamenting FIAs aren't nearly as good as they were back in the days, no, this kicks ass on what I had available in the late 90s. So I'm sorry, Missy.
No problem at all. So yes, guys, what I will do is I will actually post the, I don't know what it is, maybe first 8 slides or the equivalent of those first 8 slides in a PDF along with the coaching call on the website. So where you'll be able to find that is if you just go underneath the library and then the Monday coaching call replays and just choose today's date, you'll actually find it at the bottom right below the video.
And I should have done that in the first place. So you go to library.
Yep.
Coaching call.
Replay.
Aren't you working? Hey. Oh, it's working. It's just
it's taking here. Yeah, I don't know why it's taking a while. Mine popped right on up. So, but yes, once you get into that coaching call replay and then pick on today's date, right below the video is where I always post all of the sources that were used for the call. And then I'll also attach this particular one as the charts and tables and charts as well. So Mike, if you just scroll down on the bottom of that video, I don't know that there is anything on that replay.
There's nothing on that one, but oops, went too far there.
Yeah, just go to the top, the very top of the list. Try like the first impressions are key. And then scroll down at the bottom. Now scroll on this page.
Yeah, there was nothing on that one.
Okay, try the 1031. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep, so I'll just post them right there at the bottom of the call. And then I'll also put those slides in the events area underneath the marketing, because I had some people question if they, ask if they could use that appended into whatever event they were choosing to use. So I will go ahead and post that also in the events section. And you can utilize it as however you want to. So some people have commented about handouts or including it in their actual event. So
and you said worst case scenario, you also gave it to Matt and Dan and
correct.
And
Matt,
Jerry.
Dan, and Jerry also have it as well. And for those of you that were looking for information specific about the product, they can get you hooked up with all of that. So again, it's depends upon which strategy you were looking to use as to what product they'll head you in or carrier.
Perfecto. Thanks for being on, guys. And now's the time of year to thank people who make our lives better. So I thank you and everybody here at ECA and 5Q. Thank you for putting your trust in us. If you think there's things we can be doing better, please reach out to us. But we cannot tell you how thankful we are that you guys have chosen to work with us, and it's been a joy working with all you guys this year. We look forward to a great 2023, and you guys have a wonderful time with your families, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.